Time to fuel your business success. Welcome to Harmonious at Lunch. We're bringing you bite-sized advice and expert conversations to drive clarity and growth 5 days a week. Make sure you join our Facebook group at humanopt.com/lunch, where listeners like you and our guests hang out so we can find harmony in business together. If you're building a business, you're in the right place. Let's dive in.
Hey, yo, welcome back to the Wupdate. And this one, we're going to keep nice and quick, but I got some more AI tips for you that I've used in my own personal life this time. This is not a business episode, although if you're an entrepreneur, a founder, a business owner, or business operator, you got to hear this one because I'm sure you either found yourself in a similar position, maybe you are now, or you will in the very near future. So check this out. I had some health challenges recently. I'm not sure if I brought it up on the show here, but let's just go into it. If you haven't heard this before, I had really high blood pressure and I got some blood work done, and my LDL, or AKA bad cholesterol, was also super high, both out of nowhere. I don't have a family history. I don't have a personal history of this. And I was like, what in the world is going on? So, I kind of dove in, and doctors are less than helpful. Usually I'm very familiar with doctors. I have existing conditions where, I know how they roll. I've been to doctors before. I'm sure you have too, specialists, and it's all the same, right? It's like, okay, let's just put you on drugs. Well, no, pause. Can we maybe get to the root cause and figure out why this is happening out of nowhere before just jumping into drugs and medication? I'm personally not a fan of that. And I know a lot of people that I talk to are in the same boat. It's like, well, what else can we do? Why do we just have to go right to drugs all the time? Why can't we find another solution? I'm not talking anything crazy, but it's like, can we ask a couple of questions before we go right to drugs? It's like they want to get you out of their office as quickly as possible. And I understand that's the business model, but it's not for me. So what I did was I said, what can I do? What research can I do? And what resources do I have at my disposal to help me figure out a solution to this problem? So I said, I bet AI could help me with this solution here, or with this little problem, find a solution to this little problem. And I went to Gemini. It's my AI of choice that I've told you about in the past on this show. And I said, I don't want you to be my doctor. I'm not looking for healthcare advice, but I had to trick it a little bit and say, I need a little bit of guidance with this situation. So I told it what was going on. And I said, well, what if I just uploaded my lab results, all my blood work? I just got labs drawn to kind of figure out what was going on. And I said, well, if I can do that, then maybe we can craft a diet plan together that's way more specific. And I don't have to scour through 27 diet books, go through and buy anybody's courses and watch hours of YouTube videos. I could just kind of ask it based on my real life results. And that's exactly what I did. So I uploaded all my labs. I said, here's what we're working with. Here's my pre-existing conditions. I gave it a little bit of my health history that's relevant so that it could really craft a solution and a plan for me personally. And it was incredible what I got out of this. And I'm still using it. I mean, to this day. This all kind of started about a month and a half, 2 months ago at the time I'm recording this. And I'm still using this Gemini chat thread, and I will use it for the foreseeable future. But let me pause right here before I tell you kind of what happened, and just say, on this show, we talk mostly business, but about 20% of the episodes are health related or personal in some way. So it could be personal health, physical health, whatever, mental health, mindset, your relationships, the people you keep in your life. Those things are so important to becoming a successful, well-rounded business person. And that's why I think it's important, but that's also why I'm sharing this with you. My business burned me out and stressed me out to the point where health issues, physical, real health issues started to show up. And, without these tools and without taking a step back and asking questions like, why is this happening? How is this happening? Not from a woe is me perspective, but from a solution oriented perspective. If I wasn't able to do that, then I couldn't get the help that I needed. I couldn't find the solution that I needed. And turns out The help was at my fingertips. It wasn't a professional. It wasn't a doctor. Still isn't. By the way, seen multiple doctors on this. None of them have helped me. And most recently, I saw a doctor and I told her, I finally got so tired with it. And she saw the updated lab work and she said, "Oh, wow, your LDL came down a lot. I guess keep doing what you're doing." She didn't even ask. I said, "Do you know what I'm doing for the record? Like, can I tell you?" And I told her the whole thing. I said, "I uploaded my labs. I asked Gemini questions and these are the results I get." And she was speechless. She didn't know what to say. She was like, "Do you want to see a nutritionist?" I said, "No, I have a nutritionist in my pocket. I don't want to waste my time and my money going to see a nutritionist that's going to tell me nothing of value, just like you have told me nothing of value, and be what in the same situation." No, I'm doing this on my own. I'm taking my health back into my own hands because I'm tired of it. I'm tired of the BS. And I want to share this with you because so many times this happens to people. It's happened to me so many times personally. So I know it's happening to other people and I'm frustrated with it. But the same thing happens in your business. And that's why this is super important to me. We had an episode. I'm not even quite sure if it aired yet. I know I recorded it recently where we talked about using AI to understand your taxes and your accounting. It's not to replace the accountant. And it's not to replace the doctor. It's to educate and empower yourself to make really good decisions for you, your business, and your personal life. So that's why I'm sharing this. That's why I'm posting this episode. And that's why I'm so passionate about it, because I know that we have the tools at our disposal. We just have to know how to use them. So let's fast forward. I'll resume the story now and I'll tell you kind of what happened. So I'll use the real numbers. I don't care about sharing this stuff. I want to be open and transparent here. My LDL is normally normal. Look at that. It's below 100. The past 2 times I've gotten it checked, so over the course of 6 months, I believe, it was 146. And then this most recent time, it was 179. The other marker that was really concerning for me was a high blood pressure. So the blood pressure has always been normal. And this last time it was 159/95. And I was like borderline, should I go to the ER? I went to an urgent care. Don't worry, I'm not a complete fool. But the advice that I got was, well, just take it easy and cut back on the caffeine and the salt for the next 2 weeks. And I said, you people are just effing nuts. That's what I got out of that conversation. So that's what prompted me to go to Gemini, upload the labs, and then I would interact with it. And I would say, okay, let's build a diet plan that would help me reduce these markers. Here's my goal. Here's my other conditions. Like I said, help me build a diet plan that I can at least make progress on this, right? Like I wasn't expecting to fix it completely, but what I didn't want to do is jump right to medication. So that's exactly what I did. I worked with Gemini. I went back and forth with it. Some of the suggestions I liked, some of them I didn't. And in particular with food, I also told it like all of the foods that I like eating, all the foods that I don't like eating, so that I can really be sure we're crafting a diet plan that I'm going to enjoy first and foremost, but is also going to be healthy fuel for me. That was one of the more important parts of doing this, because you can go look up healthy recipes, but a lot of times it's stuff that me personally, I didn't want to eat, or I just don't like eating. So I wanted to make sure it was crafted for me. It was unique. It was personalized. And I was able to do that with AI. So I was really happy with that. So if I go to Gemini now, I type it in all the time. Like I'll do it right now while I'm recording this. I type in, can I eat a steak? That's a very vague question that I would not recommend typing in, but I just want to see what it says, and kind of show you in real time as an example what it does for me and why it's so helpful. So if you're watching, I'm going to share my screen real quick. You can see as it's typing and you'll see what comes up, right? So it's thinking at the moment, but I've done this here. I'll scroll up. I mean, I just made a recipe. This was last night. It was a recipe with salmon and chickpea pasta, which was super fun. If you've never had chickpea pasta, it's really interesting, actually. I highly recommend it. But let's see. Okay, so choosing the right steak. So the recommended for me personally are lean cuts of steak. Again, we're trying to lower the LDL, lower the high blood pressure. We don't want fatty cuts of meat. I love me a good ribeye. but it's just, it didn't make the cut. It's not on the list. So it's telling me what to look for and why. Then it's giving me the actual markers of, okay, here's how it impacts your LDL and your HDL. And it also tells me how it affects my other pre-existing conditions. So it tells me what to do with it, how to cook it. It tells me to trim all of the fat, control your portion size, use healthy cooking methods. So obviously, like, don't deep fry it or coat it in butter, and limit the frequency. So this is an example of a meal or a food where I shouldn't have it that often based on my diet plan. Other foods like chicken, salmon, I have those pretty much every single day at this point because they're healthy cuts of meat that are not going to negatively impact my markers, my health markers, and they're going to enable me to reach my goal. So I'll stop sharing this screen here, but that's how easy it is. And then I would follow that up with a question of, okay, let's say I want to choose a sirloin is on the recommended lean cut list. Give me a recipe for sirloin steak, and it would do that. It would spit out the recipe. It would tell me sides that go with it based on my list of sides that I'd like that I have already told Gemini, or it will ask me if I want to try a new side. It's very interactive and it's super easy. As a busy entrepreneur, it's so convenient to have that in my pocket and not have to think about it. And what I can also do with it is take pictures in real time. If I'm at a restaurant or something, I can say, hey, I'm at this restaurant. Here's a picture of the menu, or here's a picture of the food I got. Tell me how this impacts my diet plan. And it will tell me right there. I don't have to do the thinking. I don't have to be a dietitian, a nutritionist, an expert in food. I don't have to know any of that stuff. It will do it for me, but more importantly, with me, because I can learn as I go and I don't have to be nervous approaching this. So let's tell you the outcome. I'll skip to the end here. And I'm going to highly recommend that you start doing this and looking at your overall health. I think health is one of the most important aspects of or things to be aware of as you're running your business. It's the one thing that will knock you out quicker than anything else, quicker than your finances, quicker than your cash flow, your health. If you have bad health, you can't run a business. So, and I've learned that a number of times in my career, and this one most recently, just for really no reason that I couldn't have been aware of. This one came up and kind of knocked me on my butt for a second. So fast forward 30 days. That's all it took. And this is not a guarantee for you, but for me, I was super diligent with this diet plan. Every single meal was crafted by Gemini. There was nothing I put in my mouth or on my plate that didn't run first through Gemini and say, can I have this? If so, how much of it, and how does it impact my diet plan? How does it impact my goals? And for 30 days, I was able to take my LDL from 179, you may have even seen the screen here, down to 97 within the normal range. I was able to lower my blood pressure from 159/95 to 117/80, perfectly normal. And I was able to, I also have type 1 diabetes, fun fact, lower my A1C from 7.4 to 6.4 at the time of the first checking. That is insane to me. If you're not a doctor, which I'm not either, but I've been doing this long enough. I've been having these blood tests done for long enough now that I know how big of a change that is. It completely blew my mind. I told you already, I left my doctor speechless when she learned that this is all I did. And this is how much of an impact it had. The power of and the control that you have just by interacting with the tools you have access to is completely mind-boggling. So I share this episode and I get on here and talk about this for 15, 20 minutes not because I want to brag or I want to say like, look at me, I did something amazing. No, by the grace of God, nothing bad happened to me. And I was able to figure this solution out in time to step in and correct it. And there was no medication involved, just for the record. I took absolutely nothing to lower blood pressure, to lower cholesterol, anything like that. It was 100% the food I put in my mouth. And I also exercised. I walked for 30 minutes a day. That's a fun fact that I think you should know too. You should definitely exercise. But I didn't do anything crazy. It didn't take extra time. It didn't cost me any extra money. it actually cost me less money to eat even healthier and even less food. But it's incredible what you can do if you just decide to step in, take control, and leverage the tools that you have at your disposal. So I wanted to put this episode out to encourage you, if nothing else, and to say, if you're going through a health challenge, or if you have gone through a health challenge and you felt like maybe the doctors weren't doing it for you, have that companion in your pocket, and just know that there are people who are out here to support you. I would love for you to reach out and let's just have a conversation. I have absolutely nothing to offer you other than encouragement and maybe a different way to use the tools that you already have. Coming from someone who has been on both sides of that, trying to do it by myself with Google searches and asking doctors and wasting time and getting absolutely nowhere. And then also now with using the AI and getting phenomenal, unexpected results. Nothing's going to come from that other than I'm going to encourage you and keep cheering for you and say that if you're in it, you have been in it, or maybe you're not there yet, but you will be one day. Take back control of your health now before it's too late, because when it does affect your business, it's really, really hard to fix your health and your business at the same time. Trust me, I've seen it a number of times, not even for me personally, but also for clients. I've seen it firsthand with other people. You don't want to get to that situation. So get ahead of it. Preventative maintenance always costs less than fixing something after it's broken. And that's my message for this episode. So go check it out. If you have blood work or if you have a health plan, you have health goals, whatever that may be, work with the AI and use as much data as possible. Go get labs drawn, go see your doctor, get blood work done, get tests done, so you can feed the AI that information and you can craft a unique solution and plan specifically for you, for your life and your routine. I guarantee you won't regret it. Whatever comes of it, it will be better than what you're already doing. It's an amazing tool. And I hope this encourages you. We'll see you back next week for more Harmonious at Lunch. We got a lot of business episodes next week. Don't worry, but it's important to keep an eye on your health. I'm going to be an advocate for that for as long as I live, I promise. So keep going, keep running your business, keep thriving. But also don't forget that if you can't physically do it anymore, your business isn't going to last a whole much longer than you are if you're not there healthy and present to run it. So we'll see you back next week on Harmonious at Lunch. Thanks for listening. Make sure you subscribe. We'll see you there.
Another episode of Harmonious at Lunch in the books. I hope this episode made you think and you grabbed some actionable ideas to propel your business. Don't forget to like, comment your takeaways, and subscribe wherever you're listening so we can help more entrepreneurs just like you achieve harmony in their life and business. For cutting-edge tools that bring clarity to your people and processes, check out humanoff.com.